What's good, y'all? What's good? We had some nice action last weekend. Well, the other day. Zhang, the Chinese heavyweight who put on a nice show against Philip Hergovich just a little bit ago in the Anthony Joshua undercard. Now, today, Saturday, he shocked the world by dominating Joe Joyce. Pure domination from Zhang. Joe Joyce, he was, highly touted. He was, hyped up. A lot of people actually, well, a few people actually had Joe Joyce as the best heavyweight in the world. I didn't see all that, but I knew that he was a bona fide contender because he's got these glaring flaws that he showed throughout his whole career. The speed, the stiffness, the lack of head movement, but he's been able to get away with that shit. He beat Dubois, he beat Joseph Parker. He's got a high his style, he throws a lot of punches. And he did look super dangerous for a while. And he still is dangerous. It's just one loss, but this is a bad loss. Zhang picked him apart. You know, Zhang, he was calculated with his. Like he landed like over 50% of his power punches. You know what I mean? He even staggered Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce has been known for, his chin. He's known to be able to take a punch, and he still has that reputation because Joe Joyce never actually hit the floor. You know what I mean? The fight got stopped because his eye, as you can see right there, it was closed shut and he was getting hit by left after left. Zane just couldn't miss. And yeah, it was getting real bad, man. In first couple rounds, Zhang, he was sidestepping Joyce with that left hand with the right hook. It's hard to fight them southpaws, man. And Zhang, there's not a lot of people that you can spar that is like Zhang. You know what I mean? They say Joe Joyce couldn't find good sparring or a good, southpaw heavyweight to spar for this fight. So he didn't have great practice for Zhang. Zhang has a style that will trouble a lot of people, even top guys. I'm not sure if he beat top guys. I mean, as vulnerable as Anthony Joshua looks, I'll take him over Anthony Joshua. But like the Fury and Wilder and hell, even Big Baby. But I don't think he'd have to fight Big Baby. He's ranked ahead of Big Baby. This fight was for the WBO interim. That's what he took off of Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? But yeah, that fight was crazy. And Joe Joyce, like he won a couple rounds, but like he just kept trying to throw a lot of punches. And he wasn't even throwing a lot of power punches. He was throwing his jab and trying to touch him to the body and with hooks and stuff. He didn't even look like he was throwing, you know, heavy shots trying to hurt Zane. Like he was pity patting Zane, and then Zane would just come with that one counter. Zane was like a sniper in that bit. A lot of fighters be doing that, especially at heavyweight. Like they let you throw all the punches and then they just come through and pop your ass with a power counter punch. You know what I mean? Zane looked it real good, but Zane has no gas tank. Zane down there was tired in the fourth round. He Zane was hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink in the first two rounds. You know what I mean? And then he started to get tired in the third. You know what I mean? That's why Joyce had won a couple rounds. But it's just that Zane, even though he was tired, he was landing that straight left. And that eye was looking worse and worse. And the doctors, the doctors had stopped the fight. I was surprised, but Joe Joyce, he was still like able to fight. He wasn't messed up like that. You know what I mean? But they had stopped the fight. I see why. Because that eye, if they would have win a whole 12, even with Zhang like being tired, he was still like landing that left at will, and it was, doing more and more damage. So if it would have went the whole 12, ain't no telling what his face would have looked like. His corner was asking him, did he see the left coming? He was like, yeah, but it didn't look like it. Shit, Zane looked like he was landing 100% of them bitches. But yeah, though, Joyce, he could still have a career or whatever, but he's got to be moved carefully. He can become a champion or whatever in the next couple years if he don't fight like a Jared Anderson or, you know, maybe him and Hergovich would be a good fight. I think they had fought when before they turned pro in the World Boxing Super Series that they be having overseas. You know what I mean? I don't think they even be having headgear on. I think I had watched that fight a long time ago. Joyce edged them out in a decision or whatever. I think that'll be a good fight in the pros. There's still fights out there for the juggernaut. He just got a little exposed. He didn't even really get exposed because we knew that Joyce was slow. We knew that he didn't have no head movement or nothing like that. We just thought that he'll just wear down on Zhang, you know. And Zhang was a plus 600 or something. So whoever betted on Zhang, they ate good. And there was a lot of talk going before the fight that Zhang might win. But yeah, that's more props to Joyce too. He took a tough fight. He was looking for the smoke. But hey, it is what it is. You know, Good win for Zhang. He's got the WBO interim, but Usyk and Fury, they still talking. They might fight, so Zhang won't be able to get that title shot right away. I think Zhang might have to take another tough fight. You know what I mean? There's a lot of names out there. I'm not for sure who he might have to fight next, but they were talking about Zhang and the Hergovich rematch. I wouldn't mind seeing that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was some great action though. Shout out to Zhang on that big win. And on to the rest of this heavyweight division. Bob Arum, he came out and he said he said that the reason why Fury isn't made right now is because they got an offer from the Saudi Arabia saying that they can get so that kind of makes sense. But if both Usyk and Fury is totally inactive, they that's the case. If they for sure gonna fight in December, maybe they should take like a tune, you know what I mean? Not too bad of a tune up, but fight a name that you can beat and tune up until you get to the big undisputed. I always feel like Fury been ducking Usyk or whatever because Fury won the fight like AJ. Hold on. Fury be in a Wilder fourth fight, which is all fights that he would be favored in or whatever. Just seems like I'm the Usyk. This isn't right. That ain't. I want this. I want that. Fury being the diva or whatever. But Bob Arum, he said that they might fight at the end of the year. what is the point of talking about it now if y'all not even gonna fight for 8 months? That means both of y'all gonna be out of the ring for over a year. Fury fought Dillian White last, and Usyk fought Anthony Joshua. You know they'll be over a year ring rust, both of them. You know I'm not hearing about them. About to get no tune up in or whatever. But we just gonna see. But hopefully they fight next. And they really should fight in a couple months. Like, why waste that much time? You know. But they say that they gonna get like $20 more million, a lot more money to wait till then. So it is what it is. Now Anthony Joshua, he fought Jermaine Franklin a couple weeks ago. The fight was super boring or whatever. But I gotta give Anthony Joshua his props. He dominated for 12 rounds. You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua showed a nice jab. He showed decent footwork. He showed some good counters. You know what I mean? As Jermaine Franklin tried to come in and get aggressive and get on the inside of Joshua, Joshua showed some good moves while he stepped back and he countered Jermaine Franklin to the body a couple good times. Anthony Joshua is a good body puncher, but Anthony Joshua nowadays, he's just not walking nobody down. You know, Anthony Joshua chin is suspect. We know that or whatever, but I just don't see, you know. And Anthony Joshua, his stamina was impressive in the fight. You know what I mean? But we just don't know if AJ got enough dog to be a heavyweight champion again. You know what I mean? You gotta have dog, especially if you want to fight a Fury or a Wilder. You know what I mean? You gotta have that dog, especially when if you fighting Fury. You know what I mean? Because while you see Wilder got all the dog in the world. He just didn't have the skills to beat Fury. You know what I mean? You just can't. And he's with Derek James. Derek James, he got him in there looking sharp. Even Derek James himself said that, man, towards the end of the fight, I wanted Anthony to walk him down. You know what I mean? But Anthony Joshua didn't do that. He just outpointed Franklin, stayed behind his jab and all that. Counted him a few times when he came in. Just a technical, he just showed his fundamentals and his gas tank. I think Anthony Joshua don't really like walk people down no more because not just because he's scared to get hit, but also his gas tank. Because when you walk somebody down and you don't knock them out, you taking that risk of being super tired in the second half of the fight. In that first fight, Anthony Joshua got tired against Usyk. You know what I mean? Gas tank is real, real important. Always. But yeah, though, Anthony Joshua, after his fight, he had got on social media. He said that he might not be back until December as well. And his promoter Barry Hearn from the Zone, he said that that's not true. Anthony Joshua should be back a little bit earlier than that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of fights out there I want to see Joshua in, like Hergovich, Zhang, a lot of, heavyweight contenders. Big Baby, that fight wouldn't be real realistic or whatever. But even AJ versus like Shaw or somebody, AJ versus a job, but go fight some of them top rank heavyweights. I believe AJ is like a still top 7 to 10 heavyweight. He still got the Andy Ruiz trilogy out there. AJ, even though he's not the champ no more, He's got heavy options. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be bad for him. He's already 33, so why would he want to take a whole year layoff like Fury and Usyk? But yeah, though the heavyweights be fighting once a year. That's bad for the sport, man. Because when the heavyweight division popping, there's a lot of more eyes on boxing. You know what I mean? And these guys, they on the sideline. Anthony Joshua with the diva shit. Fury, he trying to prolong the ass whooping from Usyk as long as he can, and I do think Usyk will whoop that ass. You know what I mean? Fury trying to prolong and complain and everything but fight, but he is negotiating with Usyk. So I like I say, I'm gonna keep the same energy as with Earl. If you negotiating with the fighter back and forth, you know, that can't be ducking. You actually at least try halfway trying to get the fight. So we might have an undisputed heavyweight champ. That's always great for boxing. All eyes on the baddest man on the planet. But these heavyweights gotta tighten up. This inactivity ain't where it's at, you know. Anthony Joshua, I didn't bring up Wilder because I know he don't want to fight Wilder. Wilder is number one in the WBA now. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder, he's gonna be a champion again because he's ranked high in the WBC. He's ranked high in the WBA. I don't think he'll fight Fury again. I think Usyk maybe. There's talks about Wilder and Usyk. People are starting to hype that fight up. I like that, starting to put a little traction, a little bit of pressure on Usyk to fight Wilder. But Usyk, if he don't want to fight Wilder, he don't really owe him a title shot unless the WBA mandates it or something. But Wilder, he's with all the smoke. He might fight uh Andy Ruiz soon. I heard that shit might be in the summertime, but at first they both, well, Wilder was complaining about money or Ruiz. I heard the money just wasn't right for them to want to take the fight. But we need somebody in this heavyweight division to fight within the next couple months. These guys can't be out the ring this long. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just wanted to put my input on what's going on at heavyweight right now. Zhang, shit, I know he in China. He a superstar. He getting all the pussy right now. You know what I mean? He had that impressive win, knocking out Joy Joyce. You feel me? And then the rest of these heavyweights just inactive, just putting out quotes through the media and, trying to sound tough through interviews and stuff instead of getting contracts signed and getting in that ring. We gonna see what's what.